Welcome to Fitt's Sports News. This is episode 2 of the show. I had a lot of fun with the first show, so we figured we'd do it again. Welcome back, guys. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. First, we're going to talk about SPGA. First up, we're going to talk about SPGA, talking the golf league that SPA has. A lot of low scores. It's been a lot of fun to watch. I want to challenge everybody really who's in the league. Stream that, please. That would be fun to watch. There's a lot of low scores. The game is fairly realistic, so I feel like it'd just be a lot of fun golf to watch as a fan. So I challenge you guys to start streaming that. That would be cool. We're going to get right into it, and we're going to talk about some of the league leaders and stats. Nice thing about PGA 2K21 is allows us to go in and kind of see what the league's doing, how well everybody's doing, and then we get to talk about it. So, our number one golfer in scoring average is Meta World Free. He is at just over 10 strokes for 18. That's amazing. I mean, that's over half of those holes he's getting 1 under at. So, we're going to talk about the reason for that a little bit later in the show. He's probably number one in the number one category, I would say, that you need to be number one in. But anyway, next we're going to talk about Bobby, who is number one in multiple categories, talking greens in regulation at 87.5%. He is number one in birdies with 111. That's a lot of birdies. You have to be playing well in order to make that happen. He's also number one in driving distance this year. He's got the longest drive this year, 366 yards. Pretty impressive there. And he is the only one in the league to have a hole-in-one. That's amazing. Literally the only one. There's been multiple holes played, multiple par 3s, and to only have one person do it. It's pretty awesome. Congrats, Bobby, and all those number ones. Definitely one of the top players in the league. Next, I'm going to talk about fairways in regulation, and Drunk has a ridiculous percentage. I'm talking 98% fairways in regulations hit. Guys, that's straight as an arrow off the tee. That's putting exactly where you want off the tee. Every time you are on the fairway, essentially, maybe like once, you're not going to. So that's impressive. That's going to lead to some low scores, and he is consistently up there, one of the top players as well, so that's going to help him there. Another interesting stat, TLR MTS. Oh, I cannot believe I got that right, guys. That's awesome. You have no idea how many takes we have with me trying to say that. But he is leading the league in eagles with 14. That's a pretty incredible stat too. So again, stream. This is going to be great to see, guys. This is going to be freaking awesome to see all these great shots, all these great scores, especially because I don't know if the PGA is winding down or not. I don't know if they're going to be done for a while after the U.S. Open, but we always just need an excuse to watch good sports, and so do it, make it happen. Mufasa actually used to be an old rival in the AFC North in Legacy, doing his thing. He is number one in driving average off the tee, with 328 yards average off the tee. That's pretty great. Pounding it off there. And again, for that to, that's going to shorten up, shots coming in. That's going to maybe get you on par 4 and 1, and then give you an eagle opportunity there. So keep doing your thing, Mufasa. Guys, all those are great stats. But the number one stat, the thing that means the most, is putting. And Meta World Free is number one in that category, 1.38 putts a hole. That's crazy. I think it's close to 60% of his first putts he makes. And that's a pretty incredible stat. If you're doing that consistently, you're going to be one of the top players. And that actually brings me up to my power rankings. We got Meta World Free at number one, because if you're leading the league in scoring average and putting, you are the number one player in the league. And until you guys do that, you are not the number one player. Number 2, I have Bobby. Talked about him. He's done so many good things in this league. He's number one in multiple categories. He's going to be my number 2. He's constantly at the top 1, 2, or 3 in each one of these tournaments starting out. And then my third, Stank Pit 97, who actually took over for my Steelers team in Legacy, I believe. So that's kind of cool, right? I believe that's the case there. So he's my number 3, and again, it's mostly based on scoring averages and that kind of thing. That's the whole point of the game. Shoot lower scores. Thanks, guys, for tuning into the SPGA portion of the show. We're going to move on to NBA 2K21. Guys, welcome back. Next we got SPA NBA 2K, and the first thing I want to talk about is stats and the game's not saving. I heard it's a problem. The staff is working their damnedest to get that done and get that figured out. When they figure that out completely, they have that plan completely drawn up, they're going to send it out to you guys. So just stay tight, stay patient. They appreciate your patience, guys. So just stay tuned for that. Okay, first, I want to talk about the power rankings. This is just for the analytics. I want to thank Chef for getting that together. It's really helpful for this show. Without that, I don't know if I would have been able to pull all this off, so thanks, Chef. Appreciate it, man. Anyway, power rankings. Number 1, the Nets, and this is simply because they're 7-0. They haven't played as many games as some of the other teams, but they're undefeated, so they're going to be my number 1 team because I haven't been beaten yet. Number 2, got the Miami Heat. They are 14-3. Again, most wins in the league, I believe, and I think they're second in losses. So they're going to be number 2, doing great things. And number 3, we have the New Orleans Pelicans. Kush is the owner of that team. I have seen some of his videos. Been pretty impressive what he's doing over there at 11-4. Keep it up, guys. Those are going to be my top 3, and those will be consistently changing. You know, if you want to be on there, win more games, you know, lose less. I'm going to be kind of checking out the stats. I'm going to be comparing them from this show and seeing, okay, who's been winning the most, who's been losing the most, and kind of go from there. And that ranking is going to change. So anyway, good luck to that. Another thing I wanted to do is kind of do a starting 5. You know, if I could pick a dream team from SPA NBA 2K, who would it be? And first, we start with point guard, move to center. I think it's no-brainer. Steph Curry, top 5 in points, over 40 points a game. He's leading the league in 3-pointers with just about 6 a game. He's got 8 assists a game. So, I mean, he's, I think, a no-brainer to me. He's one of the tops in assists, one of the tops in points, and that's what you need in order to win games. Another guy, top 5 in points, is James Harden. He's over 40 as well. Again, with those two, I've got over 80 points, so I think I'm doing okay so far. You know, we'll see though. Third, lead leaguer in points, nearly 50 points a game. Kawhi Leonard, he's going to be my number 3. Between those two, I got 130 points, and I really don't need offense from the other two. I need rebounding, I need blocking, so I'm going to go with Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's over 12 rebounds a game. He's going to be my number 4. And Rudy Gobert's top 5 in blocks and top 5 in rebounds. He's going to be my center. That would be my dream team for the league so far. Just impressive stuff. Like I said, guys, another sport. If you're playing the game, stream it, show it, you know, post it out there. Keep doing that. It's fun to watch. That's it for SPA NBA 2K. Stay tuned after this brief message. Looking to grow your business or brand? Want to find advertising space with like-minded business partners? Spade Trader is a brand new website dedicated to connecting business owners through cross-promotion, referral networking, and ad sharing. Create an account, post your opportunity, or reply to an ad today. From now until the end of the year, you could even get a free featured spot on the site that's good for 1 year. SpaceTrader.com. Okay, next up we have Pandora and MSPA. So again, I just kind of want to do some rankings. I picked some positions on offense. I picked some positions on defense, and just kind of these would be my top 3 guys, or who I think would be the best at their position right now, currently as the league stands. We'll get into quarterback, the most important position on the field, arguably. Number 1, I got Carson Wentz. He doesn't have the most yards in the league, 1,400 and nearly 1,500, somewhere in there, but 18 touchdowns and only 1 interception with 140.5 QBR. That's efficient. That's not giving the ball up. It's scoring touchdowns. He is one of the league leaders in touchdowns, and he's leading all starting quarterbacks in interceptions. So that's what you look for in a starting quarterback. He's my number 1. Number 2, surprisingly, out of Jacksonville, Tyree Jackson? Tyree Jackson? What? Am I reading that right? I sure am. 1,600 yards, 18 touchdowns again. He had more yards, same amount of touchdowns. It was kind of back and forth on who's going to be my number 1, but 5 interceptions, more picks, giving the ball over. That's not scoring points. That's giving the other offense a great field position to score. So because of that little bit of difference, I put Tyree Jackson at 2. And number 3, I got Teddy Bridgewater, 17 touchdowns right underneath there. He's in between the 2 of them in passing yards, and he's got a QBR of 113. So, I mean, pretty efficient over there with Trey. Carolina, that's 1, 2, and 3 at the quarterback spot. Moving on to running back. The runners, no surprise here, Derrick Henry, nearly 900 yards and 11 touchdowns. He's the number 1 runner in Pandora. You can't tell me otherwise. Like, there's nothing you could say to convince me otherwise. So, that's just what I think. Number 2, Karen Higdon for Houston, 754 yards on the ground. He's got 250 yards receiving, and he's got 7 touchdowns. It's a lot of yards. It's a lot of points. No doubt my number 2 at running back. And number 3, we have Cordero Patterson, who's got 619 yards, 5 touchdowns, 288 yards receiving, and a receiving touchdown. Used to be a wide receiver, return man. The Bears in real life moved him to halfback, I believe. So that's his new spot, and it's looking like it's going well for the user in Pandora. Number 3 in my book for running back. Next we have receiver, DJ Chalk. Nearly 700 yards receiving, 8 touchdowns. He's leading the league in receiving yards. He's leading the league in touchdowns. Clear number 1. Number 2 is actually a tight end from my favorite team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Eric Ebron, 561 yards, 7 touchdowns. I mean, it's a tight end. He's second in the league in receiving yards, and he is tied for second, or is solo second in touchdowns with 7. So, clear number 2. He is a complete mismatch. I mean, for a tight end, he's fast, he's big, he'd be very fun to use for sure in Madden. So he's taking advantage of that. Number 3, 15th in yards, Jalen Reagor. 396 yards, but he has 8 touchdowns. In order to win, you have to score points. And he is doing that, so he's going to be my number 3. Those are my top offensive guys for Pandora. Top DBs, I got Taylor Rapp, free safety for the Rams. 5 interceptions, 1 touchdown, and 2 pass deflections. And my number 2 for DBs is going to be Kendall Fuller. 4 interceptions, 10 pass deflections. He's making plays over there on the defense. Those are my top DBs. And again, we might do this again. Might talk about these rankings another time and make plays with your guys, and they're going to move up into the top 2. Top D-line, looking at sacks here mostly. Josh Allen is going to be my number 1. 9 sacks, a forced fumble, eating the quarterback, destroying him, getting turnovers, making plays. And number 2, Brian Burns for Carolina, 6 sacks and a forced fumble with a recovery there. And, it's about getting tackles in the backfield, eating the quarterback up, and those D linemen are doing it. Top linebackers. Kind of looked at two things here. As a linebacker, you kind of control the middle of the field. You can get turnovers. You can play in pass coverage like that, or you can be a run stuffer. You can do both too, but there wasn't really a guy that stood out in both of those categories. There was kind of a 1-and-1 type of situation. So first, I got Miles Jack. Simply for his DB numbers: 4 interceptions, 10 pass deflections, and a touchdown. Put points on the board. He's taking the ball away. He's preventing the receivers from getting the ball. And number 2, I got Dante Hightower, who's got 31 individual tackles, a sack, 2 forced fumbles, and a fumble recovery. Again, you're making tackles, you're stopping the ball, and you're taking the ball away. So those are my top guys. That's really all I got for Pandora. Just some of my top guys. This is individual efforts going on, and just letting guys know you are noticed. Keep balling, keep doing your things. It's been fun to watch, guys. Next up, after this break, we're going to be talking about Legacy. Stay tuned. Okay, finally, I'm going to talk about my favorite league personally in MSPA. That is Legacy, because that is the league that I played in. So, of course, it's got a special place in my heart. We'll get right into it. Again, my top 4 I'm going to go with for passing, because there was some good stats here. Guys balling out. Starting with Patty Mahomes, 2,000 yards passing, 20 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. He is tops in touchdowns, tops in QBR, tops in yards. He is the number 1 quarterback in Legacy right now. Number 2, this is more so for just efficiency. He's not really filling up the stat sheet per se, but he's very efficient. He is scoring some touchdowns. He's keeping the ball. He's not turning the ball over. That's going to be Lamar Jackson. He's got 9 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, but his QBR is 115. So he's doing something right. He's said he's not giving the ball up. Doing good things over there. No, without a doubt, it is Trey. So next I got a 3A and 3B, because they're kind of very similar to me. Russell Wilson, though, is my 3A. He's got over 1,200 yards passing, 8 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 107 QBR. Again, QBR means quite a bit to me. Just tells me how efficient you are. What's the point if you have 20 touchdowns if you have 23 interceptions? That's not very good. Yes, it means a lot to put up points, but if you're giving the ball up as much as you're scoring, you're not really one of the top quarterbacks. That brings me to the next point, a guy who has the most interceptions on this list, but is still playing efficiently, putting up some yards. It's Dak Prescott, my boy Brian over there, doing things. Cowboys, 1,600 yards passing, 14 touchdowns, QBR of 102. Nice job, guys. Doing well. Okay, so those are the QBs. Next, we got the running backs. First on the list, we mentioned him earlier. He's got, in the first show, he's got a Player of the Week award already in Legacy. Jonathan Taylor, rookie running back for the Colts, 756 yards and 10 touchdowns. I believe that's second in the league in touchdowns, number 1 in rushing. So I think to me it was a number 1 clear pick for me. Number 2, I got Josh Jacobs, 601 yards and 11 touchdowns. Again, it's all about scoring. He's also, I think he's close to 8 rushing yards an attempt. So doing awesome. Another guy we talked about in Pandora, Derrick Henry, 708 yards, 5 touchdowns. This almost made him number one to me. 31 broken tackles. That's insane. By far number one in the league. Got a lot of yards. And guy who probably should be higher on my list, number 4, I got Le'Veon Bell, who has 420 yards on the ground, but 406 yards in the air as well. So 5 touchdowns, 826 total yards. He probably should be higher on my list. Those are my top running backs, though. Receivers, Tyreek Hill, 835 yards, number 1 in the league in yards, 5 touchdowns. Number 2, this guy he should be number 1 just from touchdowns alone. DeAndre Hopkins, 669 yards, 9 touchdowns. This is like a 1A, 1B type of scenario. And then third, I have Keenan Allen, just for yards, 782 yards and 3 touchdowns. And these guys are moving the change for teams. They're making big plays, threat on every single play. And those users are doing awesome. Nice to see my boy Landon getting so many touchdowns with D-Hop. He didn't have to make that trade this year, so that's pretty cool. That's good. We'll take that. Moving on to the defense. Top defensive backs. Again, I mentioned him in the first show. Micah Hyde, 8 interceptions, leading the league in INTs as a DB. Turning the ball over, getting the ball back. It's important. Number 2, I got Jalen Ramsey, who's also got a Player of the Week award, I believe, for the NFC already. 6 interceptions, 3 pass deflections, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. He's taking the ball at 7 turnovers just from him alone. Those are the top 2 guys in turnovers. Not entirely why I made the decision, but it did have a lot to weigh in on that. Definitely making plays. You need playmakers. So they're my 1 and 2. Top D linemen. Again, looking at tackles, looking at sacks, looking at, are you taking the ball, that kind of thing. Number 1, DeForest Buckner, 9 sacks, forced fumble recovery, 6 tackles for loss. I mean, the guy's stopping the ball behind the line of scrimmage often. He was a clear number 1 in the D-line category. In the other defensive lineman I picked was Aaron Donald. He's got 9 sacks and a forced fumble, and that's a lot of sacks. That's I think the 2 of them are 1 and 2 in Legacy, and they're doing exactly what D linemen need to do. Top linebacker should be no surprise here. Number 1, I've got Deion Jones, who has 52 total tackles, which is number 1 in the league. I believe he's got 3 interceptions, 4 pass deflections, and a forced fumble. He's turning the ball over, and he's stopping the run. This is that kind of dual threat linebacker talking about, can make plays in the pass, make plays in the run. And number 2, guy who constantly makes plays every single year in MSPA. And that's Chef with Justin Sternard. 4 interceptions, 10 pass deflections, and 38 total tackles. Again, kind of like a dream team type of scenario, kind of like my top players in the league. Guys are doing things individually with their players, and we want to just kind of recognize that. You guys are doing awesome. Again, it's awesome to watch all 4 leagues. You guys are doing awesome, competing hard. You're being respectful from what I'm seeing in general chat. It's kind of cool to see. It's a cool atmosphere. Keep gaming, and we will see you next time, guys. Again, special thanks to Space Trader, who is always sharing extra content, always promoting the leagues. I've been an absolute ally, especially through League Crawler, where we have had games of the week that he has promoted and done for us. So we appreciate that. Thanks again. Welcome to Fitt's Sports news. We got episode. We got We're gonna look at the number one thing. Welcome back. I just pooped my pants. You know you fart and you're gonna like pucker up. Looking to grow your business or your brand? Want to find pumpkins in the pumpkin patch? Did I say that right? Hey guys, welcome back. Poop. Okay. Hey guys, welcome back. Next we have NBA all the way, Burger King. Have it your way. Roll. Looking to grow your penis? Apply this as other things. Looking to grow your business or your brand? Want to find advertising space with the minded business with like. We put a hyphen. You know I'm going to read it just how it is. Looking to grow your business or brand? Want to find advertising with like-minded business partners? Space Trader. Space Trader. Looking to grow your business or brand? Looking to grow your business or brand? Looking to grow your business or brand? Want to find advertising with like-minded business? Looking to build your create an account for looking to grow your business or brand? Want to find advertising space with like-minded business partners? My hand looks ridiculous with it just standing up here. I want to just point. I'm going to go. Looking to grow your business or brand? Want to find... Thirdly... What am I saying? Again, big special thanks to Space Trader for retweeting all of the garbage that comes through the house.
Even my dumb show.
May the Swartz be with you.